Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we have a very exciting video. We are going to be doing a first impression swatches of the new Tartelette Toasted palette. I haven't opened this yet, I just got it in the mail and I'm very excited for it. I own both the original Tartelette and the Tartelette in Bloom. They're some of my favorite eyeshadows. I just love them so much, so I was waiting for this for so long. I think I heard about it back in May. And it's October now, the end of October, so I've been waiting a while for it. Before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up to show me that you like what I'm doing here on my channel. And hit that subscribe button down below. I just hit 100 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you all for watching. And yeah, make sure you give this video a thumbs up to show me that you like what I'm doing here on my channel. And hit the subscribe button down below. I put out new videos around twice a week, and I know you don't want to miss out on them. So let's get into it. So this is what the box looks like. It has that fire kind of image on it and all of the ingredients on the back. I don't think you can really see it, but it has all the ingredients. And yeah, it's just their standard Tartelette palette kind of look. It is the same picture on the actual palette. It's like a plasticky palette with gold on the back. This retails for $60 Canadian. So it's a little bit up there in price, but everything's a little bit cheaper in the States. But it's like pretty on par with like the Urban Decay Naked palettes and like all the standard like big name palettes from each brand that come into Canada. It's pretty standard. This is the palette. It's super beautiful. It's all more on the warm side. There's this gold kind of, this one right here. It's more glittery than the other like shimmers. There's a couple shimmers and there's some mattes in there. So they're all super pretty. It's very, very warm tone. So if you're not someone who is into warm tone shades, you might not like this palette as much. But we are going to get into some swatches now. Alright, so we'll start with the top row here. So the first shade is the shade S'more. Very pigmented and pretty. The second shade is the shade Sunrise. Ooh, that's pretty. That has like a nice, it's like a super light kind of goldy shade. That's pretty. Next is the shade Sunset. Oh wow, that's so pretty. That's stunning. And then finally is the shade Crackle, which is that glitter shade. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I don't know if it's something that I would wear often, but it's just kind of like this smoky burgundy brown with just like flecks of gold in it. So very pretty. So that's the top row. Alright, so the second row down is, the first shade is Cashmere, which is just this like super really light peachy shade that's similar to my skin tone, so it's not showing up super great, but it's there and it's nice. Next is the shade Warmth, which is just kind of like this orangey shade. So nice. Next is the shade Flame, which is like a reddy, coppery shimmer shade. Oh wow, that's stunning. Like, do you just see that? Oh my goodness. And then finally is the shade Cozy. Like, these shades are just swatching so beautifully. Alright, I'm going to switch arms because the first row kind of stained my arm, and I know these are more dark colors and they're going to stain. So the bottom row, the first shade is Candle. When I dipped in, this one was a little bit powdery. It's really the only one so far that's given me like kickback. Next is the shade Latte, which is just this kind of like warmy, neutrally brown. Next is the shade Simmer, right there. And then finally is the shade Fireside. So nice. It's just kind of like this grayish, browny, burgundy, like just a really nice color. So the swatches are so nice. Candle is really the only one that kind of like when I rubbed my finger in it, it kind of balled up a little bit and gave me some kickback and fallout. But the rest of the shades, even the other shimmer shades, which are Flame and Sunset, didn't really do that. So I think maybe if it's a lighter color, I don't know if that makes it a little bit more dry, but it's still swatched like absolutely beautifully. That's not a problem. I'm not at all mad at that. I actually am more impressed with these shades than I am in the other two palettes. I have the Tartelette in Bloom right in front of me, so I'll kind of say that Funny Girl, which is the bottom shade here, which is kind of the one it's pretty similar to Candle. It's just a little bit warmer Candle. Funny Girl also does that like ball up thing. So it's not atypical. So I'm going to do something on my eyes now, and we'll see how they blend on the eyes and blend out and apply and all of that good stuff. And then we'll kind of give our final thoughts on the first review of this. I'm going to start with the shade Sunrise. And put this just kind of all over my lid. This one is falling out. I don't know if that's just because I overpacked the brush. There we go. I think I just overpacked the brush. And then I am going to go into the shade Latte. Ooh, that has a lot of kickback with brushes. And I'm going to use this as a transition shade. So key, you don't want to like really get into these shadows hard, because they are powdery, which means they're just pigmented, because they're very pigmented. When you use an eyeshadow palette for the first time, you don't really have a good judgment of what the shadows are going to be like. It's hard to know how hard you need to go into the pans, so I'm not mad at that. Alright, next I'm going to go into the shade, I don't know what shade I'm going to go into. I think I'm going to go into the shade Cozy. I just dipped once and there wasn't any kickback. I didn't swirl. And I'm going to use this to build up some dimension just in my crease there. Then I am going to take just a more packer brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Simmer and pack that onto my lid. Then I'm going to take the shade Sunrise again and just kind of put that on the inner portion just to lighten it up. And then I am going to take the shade Candle on a smaller brush, put this as a brow bone highlight, and I'm also going to put Candle into my inner corner. Then I am going to take a pencil brush, and I'm going to go in with the shade Cozy under my lash line here on the outer portion. Then I'm going to take the shade Latte for the middle. And then I'm going to go with Candle and just kind of blend the inner corner into the lower lash line. Now I am going to take a packer brush again, and I'm going to go in with the shade Candle and just kind of place this into the middle just to kind of brighten up the inner, or brighten up the middle of my eye. That's not doing as good of a job as I thought it would. Maybe I'll try my finger. Candle is a very glittery shade. It's hard to kind of work with. I'm going to take the shade Fireside and just kind of pop it onto the outer corners like that. And then I'm going to take just the big fluffy brush and just kind of blend it out. This is just to add a little bit of depth there. Alright guys, so I put on just some mascara and eyeliner. I just went for a really thin black line. And just a little bit of Lash Paradise mascara, and I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on the Tartelette's first impression. So I do need to get into more of the shades. I can't give you a full review on all the shades and how they all work, But I tried to use a lot of shades, even though this look is decently simple. So I used Sunset, Latte, Cozy, Simmer, Candle, and Fireside. So I used half the shades that are in this palette to make this really simple eye look. I think the eye look is beautiful. I love how the shades blended out. They were more pigmented than I thought they would be by swatching them, and that's not, okay, pigmented is not the right word. They were more powdery, which means that when I went in with my finger, I just kind of like rubbed it and put it on, and that was that. There wasn't really any fallout on the swatches other than the shade Candle. But when I went in with my brush and I swirled it, it definitely kicked back a lot of powder. So I just started going into just like tapping in rather than swirling in, and we were all good. The shade Candle was hard to blend out. I just think it's a little bit chunky and it's not a super smooth shade. That could be because it has more glitter in it. I feel like the shade Crackle would do a very similar thing if I put that on my eyes. Other than that though, I think that they were absolutely beautiful, and I'm excited to give this a try. Again, I'm excited to see how they will wear through the day, but I think they're going to do a pretty good job. I did put down a good base with soft ochre, and I did some translucent powder over it just so it wasn't so sticky, and I think it worked out well. So I'm really into warm shades, so this palette for me is a go. I love how it did. I just love everything about it. I love the Tartelette palette, so yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will do some more looks with this coming up. I know that people are going to want to see looks with the Tartelette Toasted palette. So I did just a really quick one today. I didn't go into too much depth because this was more of a first impressions rather than a full tutorial. So I will do a full tutorial. So if there's any shades that you guys want to see me use in this, let me know down below. Or you can check me out on Instagram, which is Jane_Beauty with 2 Y's at the end. And you can let me know there. So I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.